This is a Stipple Wild video. If you don't have Stipple Wild, you can't do this. Okay, so I'm going to explain this minimal line illusion. Uh, it might be kind of hard to describe this because without being able to force you to shake the phone, you might not even be able to see these images. Now, if I scroll back and forth real fast, I can see this. It's Quentin Tarantino. And if I scroll, well, this one's pretty easy to see. That's me. Um, this one, if you go back and forth real fast, now I find these are best looked at if you just shake your device back and forth real quick. But if you're viewing this on a computer screen, you probably can't do that. So I'm trying to simulate it here. So what I'm trying to say is I'm going to explain an effect that's pretty hard to even see, but it is not that difficult to create. So I'm going to launch Stipple Wild. And now I find if you use an image that is somewhat iconic, a skull, or in this case, we're going to use Abraham Lincoln, an image that's somewhat recognizable to begin with is probably best because you're not getting too much detail out of here. But what's pretty cool with this trick is that you're just drawing. I'm gonna go with a white dot, black background. You're drawing these a very minimal amount of lines, compare relative to how many pixels are in an image, uh, and you're still able to recreate the image in the viewer's mind almost. It's almost like very little information exists in these lines. Like if we go back to these lines and zoom in on them, you really can't make out the difference in the thickness of the line too much. However, the brain seems to be able to piece together these images, regardless of the fact that there's really not that much information there. Um, so we're gonna go back to Stipple. We got Abe Lincoln loaded. We're gonna change our min dot size to a little bit less than or a little bit more than 0, and then we're gonna put our right dot, our max dot, very close to that. We're gonna keep that the same. Okay, so here's the important part. Let's go to Pixgap for both of these. We're going to do our columns at 40 pixels apart from each other and our rows at 1. On your end, I assume that your device is higher res than this device. You might want to adjust those settings. You might want to increase the amount of pixel, uh, the amount of column input. You might want to increase that to 60 or 80 or something. Let's go ahead and hit go. We're going to actually put that down to 30. Whoops. And then we're going to hide the background image. Now, if you squint, you can definitely see Abe Lincoln in here. If you shake your device left and right, you're definitely going to see Abe Lincoln in there. Now, I find that I don't know. It almost depends on how good your eyesight is. I think if you have really good eyesight, it might be more difficult to see these. Uh, so, how can we make this a little bit more pronounced? We can add a slight wave. So we're going to go to number of for both of these settings, for both X and Y, and our number of X waves, which is going to be the waves that affect the horizontal placement. So in this case, uh, we've got vertical we've got vertical lines. So uh, if we put horizontal waves into it, it's going to be pretty pronounced. So if we put this at we're going to put it at 0.75. I haven't tried these settings. I should have done that. And then maybe 120 for our amplitude. And actually, let's turn off our Y waves. Put that on off and hit go. Okay. So we got a pretty good wave going in this. Maybe put this down to about 90. Again, this is going to be dependent on your device. 90 amplitude might not be that much on your device. On this device, it makes a pretty big difference. And then for our X wave, let's just put in something small, like maybe 0.5, and then maybe half of the value that we're using for the other. And you'll say, hey, I don't even notice a difference. Try switching this wave math to YX. We'll give that a shot. Uh, Try increasing this. Hmm. I should have tried these settings out before I did this, but I think it makes the lesson more fun if I don't know what's going to happen either. So now we have some waves. Now we have some good waves running through it. Um, we can always go to our row offset and maybe offset it by negative 120, and then hit go again, and then we can pull this. We can pull our grid up a little bit further. But that's how we do this trick. It's pretty much just variations on this. As you can kind of see Lincoln in here. If you squint, you can definitely see him more. Let's save this and then go take a look at it in the gallery, because unfortunately we can't scroll or anything inside Stipple yet. Um, so in the thumbnail up here, we can see Abe kind of, and then when we go back and forth, we can definitely see him. Um, yeah, we can definitely see that. Uh, so I think this is a pretty cool trick. In fact, I think it's I don't really think I've ever seen anything quite like it. I've seen something that was similar, but not using such a small amount of lines and such a small variation within the lines. Um, so this kind of just shows how crazy the brain is. How it can see images with very little indication of what's actually there. All right, so I'm gonna cut this. Uh, Thanks for using Stipple. If you come up with something cool, let me see it. And